with Behind the Brand episode number 8. Yes, we are on number 8 here. And today we've got NutriFitt, 2T's Labs with us here today to learn a little bit more about the brand, their owner, different things like that. So let's get started. All right. So on a personal level, the floor is yours. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, first off, guys, thanks for having me. Great to finally meet you. You know, we've been talking for what's it been, like 2 years now?
Yeah,
really kind of just right after we kind of got moving with the brand and on Instagram. And as you both know, we've come a long fucking way from where we started. So it's really exciting. So again, thanks for having me on the show. But yeah, guys, so, you know, started this back in early, I'd say fall of 2013 was when I had the idea to start my own company. I actually was in college at the time, studying clinical dietetics. So I wanted to be a registered dietitian in a hospital. And then, you know, after being in college, I was kind of like, fuck that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to give people advice and then, you know, be like, screw you, I'm still gonna, you know, drink every day.
Fair.
So, you know, I come up with the idea to start my own supplement company because, you know, for me, man, I've always been like a supplement junkie, even since I was like 15, 16. First job was at Vitamin Shop. So, you know, that was back in those days where, you know, NO Explode was the shit because that was like the best thing you could get. I don't know if you guys know, did that have like DMAA and stuff in it? Because I mean, I don't know. At 16, taking that stuff, it was just like you were on crack or something.
The original, I can't remember if the original NO Explode. I know Jack 3D back then was the big one, but I'm pretty sure. I think NO Explode was mainly like sugar and creatine, from what I remember.
It probably was. It's probably like 200 mgs of caffeine. But, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I got into it then at 16. You know, I worked at Vitamin Shop and really just got into all the stuff. You know, those were the days where like Muscle Tech was one of the brands back in the day, man.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, I just always has been interested in supplements. So when I was in college, I was like, you know, I want to make my own stuff. At the time, I was real big into like rock climbing. So I kind of initially launched NutriFitt with the idea of creating supplements that were more endurance based. We did launch that, you know, everything was all natural, which a lot of people, well, let's just be honest, like a lot of the stuff tastes terrible. I think we did okay on some of the products, but it just, you know, to grow and evolve, we had to make a change. So, and I think it was for the best. But it's that's where I started. Like I said, back to being in college is, you know, I had access to like food science labs. So I actually had equipment to formulate this stuff on. We had mixers and stuff. It was really cool. So we started with the normal PreFit pre-workout, which is totally different now. I think you guys may have one there, but this is the new one. You guys have the old ones. You have the old one. The original.
Yeah.
So we launched with those two products, and now we have around close to 10 SKUs and 6 more in the works dropping soon. So super exciting.
Where's the brand located? I know, but.
Yeah, so Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
It's a good place to be located.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Yeah, like you were saying. Yeah, we connected originally because I remember when I was doing it alone, doing the written reviews, I got the original tubs of the PreFit and the Whey. And yeah, you definitely have come a long way from the original labels. So I can attest for that.
Big time.
All right, so let's jump into a little bit of the brand specific. Let's talk about the name. Where did the name come from?
You know, that's a good question. I've had so many people ask me that over the last 3 or 4 years. Come up with this name in college, honestly, being that I was majoring in nutrition. So the Nutri was like nutrition, and then fitness or fit was fitness. And then I just honestly, the two T's, I thought it looked better with two T's on the label.
Can't
That's
blame you.
Yeah.
There's really no reason for it to have two T's. I just was like, it looks kind of fucking cool, so let's roll with it.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
easy to remember. Yeah.
And it's fun. Like, it looks really good on the new logos you guys have. Like, it just we kind of went with the cursive style. Like, if you kind of look at like the Phillies logo, baseball team, it's kind of it's fun,
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Definitely a good answer. Basic. That's what I like, I think you've touched on your reason for starting. So let's dive a little deeper. You said you have about 10 SKUs currently, 8 to 10, whatever it is. Let's talk a little bit about each individual product. We'll start with the PreFit Regular you were just talking about.
Yeah, so obviously, this has been through 3 or 4 renditions, and so I'll just go off the normal one, which I have here. This is kind of a really good daily driver pre. This was the initial pre that we launched with that was basically more for endurance. Even the formula that you guys have there is totally different than this one. If you don't have one of these, I'll send it to you, but I thought I sent you guys one. But super, super good, daily pre, 300 mgs of caffeine per scoop. And really wanted to kind of touch a lot of aspects on this pre without going like super crazy high stem. So, we have clinical doses in here of citrulline, beta-alanine, taurine, nitrosamine, vitacholine, a lot of good stuff for focus, elevate ATP. So this is totally different from where we started. And this has actually been a hit. Actually sold all, but we only have like 20 of these left on hand, so I had to put in another order. They went quicker than the CARNAGE has lately, which is a shocker. So excited about this one, and we have 2 more flavors coming. We're having a blue gummy bear, and, like a strawberry kiwi in this.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, I know me and you originally when you were putting out the formula for this initial change, we had talked about getting it in, and then that kind of went to the wayside. We went more towards the CARNAGE, so definitely excited to see that. But the original formula, I do remember, and the all natural and the original was, the taste was there. You could tell it was all natural, of course.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's come a long way. And, it doesn't actually surprise me you saying that is sold better than the CARNAGE, because I'm starting to see a lot of the market, it was kind of going the stem heavy route for a while. Now it's kind of taking that opposite turn back to where people just want something that's not going to make them feel sick, crazy, out of their mind, something just to get them through either their workout or the end of their day. So that actually doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think kind of like the heavy focus blends are really starting to take
over. Yeah,
over.
nootropics is taking over the market, it seems like.
Yeah, nootropics are great. Well, we're working on a new nootropic. We have the NutriFitt now. It's a capsule, but I think we're actually going to turn that into a powder. And we've got a pretty banging formula that we're working on. So super excited about it. And we're actually on the next batch of the Vaso, we're tweaking that too and putting some really unique ingredients in there for nootropic and focus, which has been from customer feedback. They're like, the pump's great, but it would be awesome to have some type of focus ingredient. So we're going to tweak it some.
Yeah. When you talk about the market now, if you look at all the major pump formulas that are actually leading the market as is, yeah, pump's cool. If you're that body, gym rat, bodybuilder, whatever. But a lot of people now are starting to take pump formulas that I'm talking to for work, like to get them through their work, or even taking them before bed. To get the blood flowing, nutrients going through their blood quicker while they're sleeping for recovery. So the market right now is definitely changing a lot from what it was at least 3 or 4 years ago.
It is. And that's touching on that. It opens the door for some really interesting sleep products. So we have one of those in the works too. It's exciting. It's exciting going from 2 products a few years ago, and it was, difficult to get traction, especially with everything being naturally flavored. And, looking back compared to what we have now to what we started with, our labels were trash. They're terrible. So like branding is huge, and it's an experience. The customers have an experience with the product. So when you're looking at the label, touching the label, feeling the label, it's exciting. So it's with the 6 new products, I think I told you guys we've got another pump product coming that's capsule that can be stacked with vaso. We have NutriFitt coming, more protein flavors. Cinnamon graham crackers next. We have, which I'm drinking it now, unreleased greens. A thermo, a new multi, which surprisingly those do really well. Multi sell extremely well.
Yeah.
And then we've touched on doing a really hardcore stem based pre. So I don't know if we'll do it. I mean, Carnage is pretty intense, but we'll see.
Yeah. So you're looking to go more of a full line from basic essentials all the way to high stem is pretty much the full line route, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And that's definitely a good way. And like you said, starting with 2 products to where you guys are now, it's awesome. I've loved watching the company grow and getting to know the company even more. But I do want to touch on the multi. I did get the original multi, and I think it's still the same. That is probably one of my favorite multivitamins that I've ever had to date.
It's crazy, guys, because our multi, especially, both versions, which we're actually contemplating like kind of condensing them into like a single multi, because realistically there's really no need for a men's and women's. I mean, you can put extra folate in a men's vitamin and it'll be just fine for a woman. So, and there's a lot of things in, multis that benefit women too, like maca for libido, which is really good. I mean, hyaluronic acid is good for men and women both. So we're actually taking that multi and enhancing it, turning it into like a capsule form with some DR caps, like delayed release capsules.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. But that's been one of our top selling products in a whole lot of the retail locations is the multis.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, does it? Daily essentials seem to drive more customer base just because people
today's climate.
But yeah, and consumers they think that they need multivitamins, which in a lot of ways, but people need to really start understanding where they're deficient so they know where to go with that. So that's one of those things. But yeah, definitely your line is definitely expanding. We'll just you already touched on the Carnage. VasoFit you touched on. NutriFitt, is that still?
Yeah, it's still a thing. We have actually the Smashville lemonade flavor is what we currently have in it. We did have a blue raz, like the old version. We discontinued that, and we have 2 new flavors coming. We have one that's like a pineapple strawberry, so think pink starburst flavor. And then we're touching on like some type of grape. I don't know. We're going to have some really cool flavors in that.
Heck yeah. Well, with intro, that's the big thing you need. Flavors. It's got to taste good.
Yep. I'm going to send you a sample. Like I'm drinking the greens. You see how green this is?
Yeah.
These are incredible. Like my kids drink it.
Yeah, and they look, just from what we can see, they look fairly well blended too.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, there's no clumps. It's not gritty. It's not grassy. And they're really nice. I mean, we've got a whole lot of chlorophyll in these. So they're super, super green. I mean, you need to see Iron Man, right? Like the chlorophyll he drinks. It's like that. So.
Well, and that's, going along with the intro there, greens nowadays, the market, speaking of that, that's come a long way over the last 3 or 4 years, greens have. But nowadays, you've got to be able to make greens taste good, or else you're not going to be able to compete in that market. So that's definitely another thing. And you guys have, like I said, flavoring from the start to now. I'm excited to see how things go because your flavoring system has been bomb.
I mean, you guys, I think you remember the very first Carnage edition. I think you both kind of liked it. It was a cherry lemonade. We probably worked on that for 3 months because it was naturally flavored and sweetened. And when you have a high stem pre, it's hard to make them taste good even with sucralose or base K or anything.
Yeah.
So that was a win for that one. But like you said, what we have now compared to what we had, 6-7 months ago is just totally different.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to see.
The growth has been crazy too. I mean, it's been awesome. I think this past month we've sent samples to close to 30 new retail locations. So, and we just picked up our first UK distributor this week. So
Awesome.
we're now in the UK and Mexico and US. So it's getting there.
That's awesome, man. That's so awesome. Nutra ISO, that's the new name for the ice book, right?
Right. Yes.
So the new tub, I was about to say, the new tubs are awesome. I love the clear tubs.
Yeah, we have actually the chocolate and vanilla in this are still naturally flavored and sweetened, which we've nailed those. Those are really good. The new flavors that we have coming out will be like, N and A flavors and sweeteners, but they're going to be banging. We've got cinnamon graham cracker, which drops next, and then we're doing like a double stuffed Oreo flavor, and then still working on that one. I mean, you got to 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
It takes a while. People just don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I know we don't do any of that, but talking to people and learning more a little bit about manufacturing and the behind the scenes stuff, there's so much that goes into building a brand than people think. I mean, anybody can start one, don't get me wrong, but if you want to be successful and, compete with the market, there are so many steps that go into this thing, man. It is nuts.
Yeah, there is, man. And a lot of it's just, building relationships too. Like, I mean, you can, and you guys have seen it. I mean, you can have some of the best products on the market. And honestly, if your branding's bad or if you can't connect with people, you're eventually not going to be successful, as bad as it is. Like, that's just the facts of it. And it takes a lot of work. It's just not creating something and throwing it up on a website and people are going to buy your stuff. It doesn't happen,
No.
It's just like next month, I'm actually going to be at the lab for a couple of days. I'm driving down, so we're doing the cinnamon protein. So, it's a lot involved. But you got to live for it. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it, and it's exciting to see products take off and people enjoy them and see the feedback from all over the world. It's incredible.
Definitely, yeah. It makes you feel a little tingly inside. That nice warm feeling. So I think we've touched on just about everything. You've given us some teases of some new stuff coming up, which is awesome. We're excited to hear about that, see that, share that out. What would you say your targeted audience is? Your main targeted audience for your line?
That's been like a difficult question ever since I've started this company, because it's and you can pull demographics and do sales analysis on who's buying your stuff, and literally from day one, I mean, it's been almost 50-50 down the middle, male and female, and we have people from 18 years old up till their late 70s buying some of our stuff. Like, I have a guy that has been buying the stuff for 2 years at 78 years old. and he buys the pump product, which we probably all know why he's getting that.
Hey.
Oh, well, hey, yeah, and it's definitely one of those things. And with your line being so, spread out, well diverse, your audience is definitely going to be here, there, everywhere. You're going to have a little bit of people who are, like you said, endurance athletes, probably up to bodybuilders.
Yeah, true. And I mean, honestly, I think if you look at the age groups, the majority of our customers are anywhere from like 18 to 25, 26. And I think it's kind of moved more towards that since our rebrand, which we're fresh into this. We still haven't rebranded everything. We have new products coming. So this year is going to be really exciting, building up, dropping new products. It's a constant tweak. You're constantly tweaking stuff. There's even more new stuff we want to do on the labels that we currently have to make them even better. So it's exciting what's in the pipeline. But I mean, like, our customer base, it has kind of been more of like that younger crowd. I think especially just because like the brand now has more of like a fresh lifestyle type fun feel, and it's more appealing to people than what it was.
Agreed. Yeah.
Especially like you were talking about earlier with the new labels, they're textured. The design of them, they really kind of pop in comparison to a lot of other products.
Yeah, I mean, and it's doing stuff like that. It's do you spend a little extra money on labels because compared to what we did have, the labels are double the cost now because you have 3D dimensions and UV spot and metallic and a lot of things going on, which we're actually even going to step them up even more on the line. So they're going to be fire.
Man, you are going to eventually hit a wall, man. How are you going to keep one up in yourself?
They're going to put a Scoopy in the lid.
All right, I got the idea. So how Happy Meals have a toy? Y'all should put a little prize in there for people. That's the next thing.
Yeah, we could do that.
That's right. All right. Cool deal. Good discussion.
It's a prize of the month. Like start the whole you guys remember was it McDonald's where you would have to go and get the little Monopoly pieces and put them on the board to try to win $1 million?
Yeah. Now we're on to something. See? Mm-hmm. See? All right. So you want to take the next?
Yeah. So what's been the biggest challenge you faced recently, and how are you overcoming it, or how are you going to overcome it?
Yeah. So obviously the biggest one that we had faced since we had launched was just growing the brand. It was extremely difficult to pick up new locations, honestly, because the products, they didn't taste the best because they were naturally flavored and sweet. And that's a specific market of people who want those or who are, super serious about them. So that was extremely difficult. But since we've rebranded, kind of how we overcome that was through the rebrand, through better formulas, through better flavors, and it's completely changed the ball game. And, getting into the business was hard too, because, personally, I didn't know anybody in the industry at all. So it was just like, I'm just the guy. I've been interested in my whole life. I have some knowledge in it and formulating. Let's do this, and it's you guys know it's wild, wild west in the supplement industry.
Oh yeah.
It's been there's a lot of hurdles to jump through, but a lot of people are going to quit. I mean, realistically, but I've been in it since we launched in 2017 in April, so it'll be 4 years this April. But it was tough. It was a tough first couple of years, but it's been good. We did better in 2020 during all the COVID shit than we did 2 years. So.
That's awesome. That's pretty awesome, because that's been a lot of feedback from other people is the struggles through 2020, with COVID. So, which you guys definitely did a good job of hitting local stores at first, right? Like in the Tennessee area.
Yeah, that was where we started. Nutrition Factory is one of our biggest accounts right now. They have, I think, 8 or 9 locations currently. We're in all of their stores, one of the top brands there. So that was a huge help for us to get rolling. And then we picked up 2 new places in Jersey this week, and then I said the UK. So it's getting there.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, baby steps, man. Just I mean, it's crazy to think it's been 4 years though, because I'm pretty sure we connected right at the end of 2017 into 2018, and like you said, it's just been tremendous seeing how things have went. And I'm glad because definitely couldn't have happened to, a better person, just getting to know you. So keep up the good work.
I'm kind of curious. Do you know how many locations you're going to be in the UK?
I do not know currently. So, I mean, I've talked to 3 or 4 locations over there. We do have, our first distributor, so they'll be actually doing a lot of shipping to customers who order online through their site. So we'll just see. I mean, it was just fresh this week. Just ship their pallet out this week. So, we'll see. We're ready for Canada and Australia. So
there you go. More to come. Yeah. If you can at least, I mean, nowadays, if you can at least get one distributor in, those major, like you said, Canada, Australia, UK, and then the retailers here, you have a pretty good base or foundation to support customers pretty much worldwide.
You do. It's exciting too. And, something else that's really been cool is just the connections you make through being in the industry. And, I never would have thought, which I know you guys had touched on it, and we haven't really spoken in depth about it. But, you know, we're dropping a co-branded product with Ricky Rocket, and a lot of people are like, how is this like, what is this, you know, how does this make sense? This is like a rock drummer. You know? It's cool, man. A lot of people don't know about Ricky, though. He's 3rd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he's, you know, really good friends with the Gracie family. So they came to me and were excited about creating a line of products for mixed martial artists, specifically within jiu-jitsu, for that crowd of people. So that's what the 2 products are for. It's a pre and post workout, and we're hoping to launch it within a lot of the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu centers. It'll be for sale online, and then looks like we may, you know, have an intro to a vitamin shop through it. So, you know.
Wow. Yeah, because from what I've heard, like from JiuJitsu Players, is it's very specific on kind of what products you can and can't take, and a lot of times they just end up not taking anything because of side effects from a lot of the stuff.
It was
things you can find on the shelves.
It was intense formulating it, because I mean we worked on it for probably 3 or 4 months, and Ricky's a 2-time cancer survivor, so he was extremely picky on everything we used, and like his oncologist had to approve what we were doing for him to actually use the product. So, you know, this went through his cancer doctor, and, you know, he would test them out and he would try them and be like, yeah, I like this, but like I like the flavor. So, and those two products will be like a natural flavor and sweetened product, just because, you know, he's strict on everything he does, and a lot of people in that community are too. You know, they're really into everything has to be as clean as possible. So.
And coming from a wrestler, you know, through middle school, high school, is going to wrestle in college as well. When you take supplements, you do have to be very picky about things when you're in a combat type sport, because if you take something that is too stem heavy, you're going to get sick. If you take something that's too pump based, you can end up getting too much blood flow to your muscles to where you don't have grip, you don't have, you know, different things like that. So it should definitely be interesting to see that. That is pretty cool, though.
Yeah, that was, you know, that's funny, because that's some of the things he had talked about too. Was like, hey, I don't want a whole bunch of like, you know, ingredients in there. So, I mean, the pre does have citrulline and it has some nitrosamine in it, but it's not like a super crazy pump product. And, you know, this was tested, like he would take this and go roll for 3 or 4 hours. And he, you know, the pre is a stem free, because, you know, he didn't want anything with a lot of caffeine because of heart rate and crashing. So, you know, it's got a lot of endurance ingredients. It does have pico too. And then the post is like a recovery BCAA with some carbs, and then it has some stuff for joint health in there too. So it's exciting, man. It's gonna be a cool launch.
Yeah, it sounds pretty unique.
Well, yeah, in today's market, you know, that's where you've got to, you know, we talk about this all the time, is, you know, the market has kind of hit a plateau when it comes to ingredients and things like that. Nowadays, it's the same stuff. You know, we're here. We're not kind of finding that next ingredient that's taken the market by storm, I guess we can say. So it's, where can you come up with a unique product that's going to separate you from average Joe and average Jane to this. So that's kind of that. And then it's also the flavor game, like you had mentioned.
Yeah. And that's, you know, that's true too. There's so many products on the market. I'm sure you guys have like an extra house for all the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the what's the Review Bros guys, like their whole wall. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you have to do something to stand out. It's cool, you know, and it goes into branding too. Like we're calling that the Black Belt series. You know, the labels actually have a black belt on it. It's got a jiu-jitsu guy kind of in the background. So it's gonna be nice. I'll send you guys when we get them in. We should have them next week. So we hope to launch into next week with it.
Man, that's awesome. Ever since you sent me the label and I was looking through it originally when you were first talking about it, man, it looks so cool. And the first thing was just unique. It hit me that it was just so unique and just something different. So I'm excited to kind of see how that goes. And if it does open that door to Vitamin Shop, that's a pretty big pipeline right there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to drop a whole lot of money on the manufacturing side, which is a good problem to have, you know?
Yeah,
So,
right now. Definitely. Awesome, man. Awesome. Some good stuff going on. Let's talk about this. How do you continue to learn in order to stay on top of things within the industry that seems to change every day?
Dude, it's a full-time job. I mean, you have to consult with people. You just can't do it all on your own because, I mean, you wouldn't have enough time. You know, there's chemists that I have connections with that I'll talk to that stay really in depth on like studies, like new studies that have to do with ingredients and the way the body works and how an ingredient affects this and that pathway and why you shouldn't put something in a particular product when it's combined with this or what it actually does and how it can have like an adverse effect of what you actually think it's going to do. So it's intense. You know, I don't think you can do it all by yourself. You need a team behind you and you need other people's input. You need guidance and you just have to stay on top of it. You have to actually take the time to look into what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, true. You know, and another thing is in this space, and it's something that frustrates me personally, is anybody can make a formula. You know, I can go to my neighbor over here and just say, hey, can you put a couple ingredients together and make me a pre-workout? And they can. It's just crazy how easy it is to get into this space with. You know, I feel like the FDA really needs to kind of step in and make it a little stricter. I think one thing that would do is take this saturated market and it would definitely weed out a large majority of the people who aren't doing this for the right reasons.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think a lot of people do it they're like, oh, well, let me get 200 of these made and sell them on Amazon to increase your boner or some shit, you know. They'll go to a lab and you guys see it all the time. You know, you guys are on top of this. That you'll see the same trash, you know, stock formulas for pre-workouts or whatever, and it, you know, you're literally getting something made for nothing, and people try to sell it for $60, $70.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of the times, who knows where it's being made? That's another problem that you really have to, you know, stay on top of if you really want to do things right and make high quality products. Is you need to know where your ingredients, your raws are coming from. Like, are they tested? Are you testing your batches after they're made to see if, you know, what they say is in there is in there? Are you testing for impurities? You know, that stuff costs extra money. A lot of people don't want to pay it.
No.
And they just don't want to pay it. But, you know, we do. We do have, you know, super high quality lab. And it's, you know, just the ingredients, too, that you source stuff from. Like the CARNAGE. You know, a lot of people have issues with like Yohimbe, alpha Yohimbe.
Yeah.
And you can take something the same milligram according to a label, but you know, who knows if all the way, and get a totally different effect off one that says it's the same as the other. But like the Yohimbe that we use and the alpha Yo, it's a super, super pure source. And so you're going to get a different effect from it. It's just cleaner and smoother, and you don't feel like you're, you know, going to die compared to some other labels.
That's actually pretty true for you, right?
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, guys too, like Yohimbe back in the day when I was probably 18 and, you know, taking anything I get my hands on. I was popping like 12 ripped fuels a day or something stupid. I blacked out one time, like going to the grocery store from ripped fuel, woke up in the hospital. That may have been when they still had a Fedra too. I can't remember. But ever since then, if I'd taken it, it'd just give me like the worst anxiety toward the fact I wanted to just, you know, lay in the bed because I have a panic attack. So, you know, another problem is that you're making things, you need to test it yourself too. You know, anybody can make a formula, but you need to try your own shit and have a lot of people try it too. And a high stem free is not something that, you know, I feel like you should be taking every single time you work out. Or no. I mean, honestly, I'll take CARNAGE maybe once or twice a month if I'm just really dragging, because, you know, I drink coffee in the mornings too, and if, you know, you're pushing 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it was funny. You already know where this is going. So I forget what product it was. Everything was pretty much underdosed except for caffeine. And we didn't think about it. And I had double scooped it. Well, on the label, I was like, oh, everything's underdosed. I'll just take 2 scoops. And it was 400 milligrams of caffeine. So I took 800 milligrams of caffeine just in one shot and went to the gym. That was the sickest I've ever been from a workout.
You didn't even make it, did you?
No. I made it into the gym. I got through like maybe 8 working sets, and I was like, I got to leave. I was like, this is not good.
That's happened to me before. You get in there, I did like 1 set of curls, and I'm like, yeah, I got to go sit in the AC in the car. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another, that brings up a good point of what I was talking about with the FDA. You're putting this stuff in your body, man. And like you said, you definitely should test your own stuff before you give it to somebody else. So I definitely agree there. And then third-party testing as well to make sure your manufacturer is doing what they're supposed to do. So it's just insane that the level of non-regulated stuff that goes into this industry, because people are ingesting this. They're putting this in their body. That's one frustration that I personally have.
Yeah, scary stuff, man, especially when you have a bunch of companies getting busted for things. Like I think the FDA had a crackdown on like 15 companies last week, and which I don't think it was for impurities. It was for, health claims.
Yeah.
But there's, and if you do the research, there's labs all across the country that are getting in trouble for, selling things they shouldn't be selling.
Yeah.
So you just got to be careful.
Yeah, especially
doing that. If they're doing that, you can't say they're not even cleaning their equipment properly, and who's to say that your product's not going to get contaminated with SARMs or something?
That's what I was getting ready to say. Is SARMs right now, the way companies are branding those things, it's very scary.
Well, and local shops are selling them behind the damn counter. They're not advertising it, but
all that stuff's coming from China too. So how the hell you know what you're getting?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, but we can go on for hours about that, I think.
Yeah.
You want to take the next?
Yeah. So as a supplement brand owner, what's the biggest area in the industry that you're curious about, and why?
Oh man. For me, I think it's advancements in the industry when it comes down to ingredients and new technology, and the science is really intriguing to me because you can take ingredients like for the let's say for like pump products. Like my favorite thing currently on the market right now is Vasodrive, and I think it blows pretty much everything else out of the water, especially if you take something like that standalone and get something else. You can just completely tell the difference, because there's you have the right connection to stuff. You can get the raws, like you can get Vaso 6 pure powder, or you can get Vasodrive, whatever you want to try. And I think it's revolutionary, which, the Vasodrive's been around for a while.
Yeah.
But it's starting to get hot.
Yeah.
So I think that's key. And then, something else that's just really interesting is just the trends, because they change so, regularly. You have to stay on top of it. And it's like you guys were talking about, like, what can you do to stand out on a shelf? What can you do to, just to grab, a bit of that attention and pull it into your brand and help you explode your growth? And, that can be difficult. You have to do it at the right time. Sometimes you have to be like an industry leader and come out with something before anyone else does that just really takes off, whether it be like your branding, your marketing, a product. And it's a whole system, but the process of figuring it out is cool.
Definitely. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, this, like we talked about, this is an ever-changing industry, whether it be from your audience or from a ingredient standpoint. So you want to definitely be on top of your game, because if you're not, someone else is going to be. Because like we said, this market is oversaturated. Yeah,
and it's different from what it was, 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 15 years ago, when I was 16, 17 years old or something, like everything you bought was something you found in a magazine.
Yeah.
That's what it was, muscular development. I still remember those iconic ads with like Cutler for Muscle Tech.
Yep.
Waiting for like the new Pump Tech tablet. Yeah, had horse pills that were just like AA TV, and that was it. You know, and you know they had some terrible stuff. Thinking back,
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? It was supposed to be like an mTOR product. It was called Anator P70 by Muscle Tech. Do you ever remember?
I think I've heard it. Yeah,
I do remember something about that.
That stuff, man, was like you would put it in a shaker cup and you would have about 80% foam in that stuff. Terrible. And then, you know, it's one of those products that you would take and you're in the gym for maybe like 15 minutes and then you're shitting your pants.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a different world than it was back then.
Definitely. Yeah. And a lot of that has changed due to social media as well. You know, I mean, that's changed the industry also.
Yeah, it's huge. You know, you can, and social media is crazy. You know, you can, if you get linked up with the right people or, you know, the right influencer or something, you can literally take a brand from 50,000 a year to well over $1 million in no time. So the power of social media is incredible.
Yeah. Well, and also you have these companies, well, you'll know, there's ones that have the pyramid schemes, is what I call them, you know, where they take a product that costs them nothing and they just give it to people to sell for them. And then it's kind of a tier. Or you have companies that run BOGOs, Trogos, whatever it may be, weekly. So, I don't know.
Limited time offer. We'll be back next weekend with more.
The pyramid schemes are ridiculous because it's like you said, you'll get a product that literally is trash. And you have everybody in the world saying it's changed their life and now they're not allergic to oranges anymore from taking this product or something.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these people invest so much money in these to get started as, you know, to be their own home-based business that it's almost like they have to lie to people to try to get their money back because they're spending so much on it each week.
I think, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves is when I see people start doing that and they're like, just in 2 weeks, I'm not bloated, I don't feel as bad. And I'm like, well, did you stop eating like shit for 2 weeks? Like, that'll do it.
Well, they're like, I'm sorry, but it's not the B12 and 15 milligrams of alpha lipoic acid, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. All right, so let's jump into the next question here. This is interesting. What helps inspire you and bring out your best ideas?
Oh, man. Honestly, I think it's just the creativity that you see in the industry too. And you know, the promise that you see from research or that I see from research on a daily basis. You know, just like the other day, I was spent the whole day researching PQQ, which is not really hot right now, but we're going to start implementing it into a lot of products. Like it's an incredible molecule and does a whole lot of things for actually blood flow, for, you know, neuroprotection. It actually helps with like sirtuins, you know, to help with like ATP production, and it has so many benefits. And, you know, it's things like that. It's like, what can you learn, and then how can you incorporate that into a product to bring to market to, you know, give someone something they never had before.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely a good thing because, you know, like you had said, the creativity of the market itself, when you have 5 good brands, they push each other to be better. And that's what makes this industry better, I think, is when you have those brands who are doing it right and their quality, because one brand steps it up, then this brand that's right here has to step it up even more. So it's just a back and forth kind of thing, which is great for the industry.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's better, you know, it's better than just having like, you know, one sole company at the top like it was way back in the day that can do whatever they want. People are going to buy it, and there's no progression in the industry. So I think that's something that's positive. Like it's good competition, and you know, ultimately it benefits the consumer and just the whole industry as, you know, having credibility as well.
Yeah. And there's no fear of, there's plenty of consumers in this market for everybody to get a little bit of something.
Yeah, you know, there is. Like there's room at the finish line for everybody. I feel like that honestly should be reserved for people who are doing the right thing, you know. well, people who are doing the wrong shit are still going to win. But I think if you do the right thing long enough, you're going to eventually come out on top.
Yeah, that thing called karma. I'm a firm believer.
Yep.
So where can viewers find you and your brand?
So obviously any social platform, Instagram, NutriFitt Labs with 2 T's, obviously. Facebook, NutriFitt, and then we're on Twitter. Don't really use Twitter though. I haven't really seen a point to use Twitter for this series, so that's kind of irrelevant. And then NutriFitt.net.
Cool deal. So this is the part where we kind of have an off the wall kind of question. And, the one thing I want to know, and y'all both are probably going to go back and forth, but how do you guys get these beards so nice? Like, what's your daily routine for your beard?
Oh man, I guess I'm just blessed. Obviously. It just grew in great, Man, I've had a beard probably twice the size of yours, like twice as long, that I cut off. But dude, it was epic. Like I was going to the barber and had it like shaped and stuff. And I had people like, you should put pictures like for a beard company. So I don't know. I had it long. I almost completely shaved it off about a month and a half ago. Like I got it down to like a 1 or 2 guard, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with my face?
Yeah.
I had to grow it back out. When you've had a beard for so long, I mean, I've had one for probably, I don't know, since 2018, somewhere in there. It's when I used to have a goatee, and then I just let it grow in. And I cut it off once and looked like I was 12. So I'm going to have to grow it back.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think I
use the beard oil and shit.
It's all the beard oil. Yeah.
So just throw beard oil on your face at night, like a woman putting a mask on. Just cover your whole face in oil, and you wake up and it'll be like majestic.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Man, what was I gonna say?
And then you have to drink greens out of a whiskey glass.
That's helpful. Yeah. You probably just take it and rub it, do like a little face mask too with it. Exfoliate,
Well, last year, the whole mask thing is killing me. I know I've shaved mine every 6 months or something, but the mask thing is killing me with this beard and mustache. Like pulls on it, yanks on it.
You guys still have the mandate there. It's where I'm at. You can wear it if you want to, and I hardly. I mean, I don't wear it all the time. Like I'm so sick of the damn mask.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a free for all, and not. So it's weird. So if you go to a restaurant, you have to wear it in to your table. As soon as you hit your table, you can take it off. Right?
Yeah, that is here too still.
But you can go to the mall and you don't have to wear it. And you can go to the store, any store in the mall, and it's optional depending on the store.
Because COVID discriminates, right?
Yeah. So it's like, what is this doing? Like,
I can only catch COVID from here to here. That's it. But, well, actually, our governor, he's an idiot, but that's besides the point. He is relaxing the laws March the 1st through April the 1st. So we originally had a curfew from midnight to 5.
You guys are in Virginia, right?
Yeah. So that's being lifted. Our
businesses can stay open till midnight.
Yeah, alcohol sales can go back to stay till midnight. That originally ended at 10 or 10. Yeah. And then now they're upping the gathering. So outside gatherings can have 30% capacity up to 1,000 people now. And then they're going to reevaluate April the 1st to determine if everything, I guess, can go back to normal. I don't know.
Yeah, private gatherings currently we're limited to 10 people. So they're bumping that to 25.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, I pay for my property, but I can only have 10 people on it.
It's insanity. It's like if you're that worried about it, like go get the vaccine,
Yeah.
I tell you what, I had a hell of a cookout last June. I had everybody over.
It's definitely been crazy times, but I'm pretty sure. I know Bristol, Tennessee. I'm sure that's like along the same lines as Virginia when it comes to this stuff, and I think it has been similar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what Nashville is now. I think the bars, I think it may still be 10 o'clock. They have to stop serving alcohol here still. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's like us and the campaign we're doing. Small businesses are being impacted tremendously through this, and it's not their fault. It's crazy. Well, that's another topic. Well, sorry, I can go on a rant for a few hours about this, but
yeah, it's insanity. I don't agree with either. I mean, you got every big box store in the country can be open, and you can have fucking packed to the gills with people, and as long as you have your cloth mask on, it's okay.
Yeah.
But you have a small business that may have 5 or 10 people in there at once. They have to close the doors. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy for sure.
It's disgusting too, because like if anybody who is okay with that is a fucking piece of shit. Let's just be realistic. Like that's just what you are. Because I mean, you've got people like that depend on that business to feed their families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, sorry about your luck.
I think it would be different, right, if they offered more support for these business, right? If they were like, you're closed, but we're going to supplement the income. But they don't even get that.
No, nothing.
It's sorry.
You can get a PP loan and have to pay, or PPP loan and have to pay it back. Maybe still with a certain percentage.
Yeah, I mean, those are good but I think there's a lot of stipulations on those. Like you have to use them all for payroll or a certain percent to get it forgiven, and it's only up to like I think maybe $50,000 or something. And realistically, some small businesses need that to run for a month.
Yeah.
With expenses and overhead and payroll all the same. So it's like that. That's all good, but it's not going to keep their business open.
No. So definitely some interesting times. But like we said, well, that wraps up all the personal questions and things that we had. We always do like to ask, is there anything that we didn't ask you that you would like anybody watching this to know?
I think you guys nailed it, man.
All right. Well, we try. All right, so we will go ahead. We'll wrap up the recording here. If you want to hang out for a few minutes once we stop recording, we can shoot the stuff. But everybody, we're going to link all of NutriFitt stuff down in the description here of the video. We're going to also link our previous reviews of the things that we've done with them. So be sure to head over, check all that out. Give them a follow. But other than that, that's all I got. Yeah. All right, I think we're done recording.
I did set up a code for the viewers if they want to get something. You get 20% off the Supplement Kitchen. So take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah, we'll put that down in there. We'll add that to our discount little thing on our whatever. Anyways, but we're about all done. We'll stop recording now and hang out.
Yeah. All right.